Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, teacher.
How are you today?
Fine, thanks, and you?
I'm good, thank you. Today we will be reading the book Wizard's Children, written by Penelope Love. Do you know this book?
No.
Okay, this is a fiction book, but before we talk about the book, let's remember what we did last week. Sophia, can you tell me what did we do last week?
We learned simple past tense.
Yes, we learned simple past tense. When we use simple past tense, we use simple past tense when we are talking about actions, events, and situations that started and ended in the past. For example, I cooked dinner. What did you do yesterday, İlker?
I went to play basketball.
And what did you do yesterday, Safiye?
I studied for an exam.
Good. These are all of the examples of affirmative sentences in past tense. For negative sentences, for example, I didn't eat lunch. He didn't do his homework. She didn't play basketball. Okay? And for question examples, did you go to cinema yesterday? Did you play football yesterday? Kind of that. Just like that. Okay, let's continue. Let's start with the book. By the way, here are the pages that we are going to be reading today. Okay? Wizard's Children. So, what is wizard?
Büyücü.
And in English?
A man who has magical powers.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. Moving on to the characters. There is Martin. Martin is our main character. He is a monk. What is a monk? A monk is a priest. What I mean by a priest, I can say in Turkish, rahip, okay? In Christianity, do you know what rahip is? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Okay, abbot. The head monk in Evergreen Temple. The story is happening in Evergreen Temple, and abbot is the head monk. And there is a wizard, but it's a mysterious figure, and in the chapter 1, we won't be seeing a wizard. There are monsters. One of the monsters is giant fingers. Okay, let's start reading. But first, let's learn what's going on in this story. The war between Duke's Anvil and King's Hammer. Once upon a time, the countries of Duke's Anvil and King's Hammer lived together in peace. But spies warned them that a wizard was building a terrible weapon. The weapon was so powerful it could destroy both countries. It was so powerful it could destroy the world. The wizard planned to use the weapon to take over both Duke's Anvil and King's Hammer. But it took a long time to make, and he hadn't finished it yet. Duke's Anvil and King's Hammer joined together and defeated the wizard. He fled. They searched the ruins of his house, but didn't discover any weapon. Each country thought the other had found the weapon and hidden it, planning to use it for themselves. In fear and anger, they quarreled. They have been at war ever since. So these countries at war because they thought the other country had hidden the weapon. Okay. So chapter 1, Martin's dream. The scream woke Martin. It was a high, terrible, heart-stopping sound. He jumped to his feet and looked around. He lived in Evergreen Temple, a huge stone building surrounded by strong walls. He lived there with monks, but tonight Evergreen Temple was crowded with villagers. Can you please underline the verbs you see in the first paragraph? For example, the scream woke Martin. Here, look at the word woke. Woke is woke is an irregular verb and is the second form of base verb. Woke is an irregular verb and a second form of base wake. Okay. He jumped to his feet and looked around. Jump, jumped, ed. Do you see that? It's a regular verb. when we create a sentence in simple past tense, we don't use the base form of the verb. We use either a regular verb or an irregular verb. Here are the examples of regular verbs. Jump, jumped. Look, looked. Okay?
Okay.
So let's continue reading. Monsters from King's Hammer had been seen in the forest, close to the temple and nearby village, which both belonged to Duke's Anvil. The villagers begged the monks to let them sleep in the safety of the temple. Tonight, Martin had given his bed to a woman from the village, and he slept on a stone bench in the vegetable garden. He was glad that it was spring and the weather was warm. Now he was awake. He remembered a bad dream. He dreamed that a man called his name, trying to wake him. Then the scream woke him. Martin thought he knew the man, but the memory of the man faded when he woke. There was a strong wind blowing in his dream, but now he was awake. The morning was clear and calm. He stared at the people sleeping around him. The scream rang in his ears, but nobody else was awake. It must have been a dream. But Martin couldn't forget the sound. He was sure someone had screamed to him for help, or was it a warning? He picked up the walking stick that lay by his side. It was heavy and solid, and as tall as he was. The monks were not allowed to fight, but in times of war, even monks must protect themselves. It was early in the morning. Not even the birds were singing. Martin yawned and stretched his head. He was of medium height, thin but strong. His head was shaved, he had no shoes, and he wore a brown wool shirt and pants. He stood up and walked carefully among the sleeping people. He looked up at the guard on the temple walls. He got afraid when he realized the guard was asleep. As Martin watched, 5 long dirty things, each as tall as a man, appeared beside the guard, then slowly reached over the wall. They were fingers, Martin realized. Giant fingers. A monster from the army of King's Hammer. He shouted in alarm and ran up the stairs. Okay. Until now, I want you to read on your own and underline every regular verb you see, okay?
Okay.
Okay, here are the regular verbs you underlined. Now, I want you guys to repeat after me, okay?
Okay.
Come closer. Live, lived.
Live, lived.
Belong, belonged.
Belong, belonged.
Remember, remembered.
Remember, remembered.
Dream, dreamed.
Dream, dreamed.
Tamam mı? 1, 2, 3 başla. Fade, faded.
Fade, faded.
Call, cold.
Call, cold.
Stare, stared.
Stare, stared.
Pick up, picked up.
Pick up, picked up.
Yawn, yawned.
Yawn, yawned.
Scratch, scratched.
Scratched, scratched.
Okay. Walk, walked.
Walk, walked.
Appear, appeared.
Appear, appeared.
Reach, reached.
Reach, reached.
Realize, realized.
Realize, realized.
Realize, realized.
Realize, realized.
Realize,
Realize.
realized. Realize, realized.
Realized.
Realize,
Realized.
realized.
Realized.
Okay. Pull, pulled.
Pull, pulled.
Shout, shouted.
Shot, shouted.
Beg, begged.
Beg, begged.
Great. Now, okay, I want you to continue reading and underline every word you see, okay?
Okay.
Okay, did you do that? Yes, you did. Let's continue. Repeat after me. Emizar was were.
Emizar was were.
Wake, walk.
Wake, walk.
Give, gave.
Give, gave.
Sleep, slept.
Sleep, slept.
Ring, rang.
Ring, rang.
Wear, wore.
where, wore.
Have, has, had.
Have, has, had.
Run up, ran up.
Run up, ran up.
Stand up, stood up.
Stand up, stood up.
We all know the meanings of these words, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. We all know the meanings of these words, right?
Yes.
Teacher.
Good. Let's continue. It's over. Okay. And we have a quiz and activity, but 10 minutes later, okay?
Okay.
Before we do the quiz and activities, I want us to talk about the story. What was happening in the story? So, what did Martin hear in his dream, Ayşe?
He heard the scream.
And the scream was terrible, high, and heart-stopping, right? So, why did the villagers sleep in the Evergreen Temple, Ahmet?
Because they were afraid of monsters.
Yes, there were monsters, right? The monsters were giant fingers. Okay, now let's do the quiz. Open the application. Okay, let's do the quiz. Open the application and write this code. And let's start. Okay. I will be giving you irregular verbs chart and we will be studying over it, okay? You can go home. Good evening.
Goodbye, teacher.
And we have a matching activity. Correct. And the last one. Great. And this is our quiz. It smelled like that nice. Did anyone else hear the scream? No. What did the scream sound like? Soft and friendly or high, terrible, hard, stopping? Okay class, that's all for today. You can go home, but before going home, I will be giving you some irregular verbs chart and I want you to study at home. And in the next class, we will continue to learn about irregular verbs and past continuous tense.